What does a $1,000 a month Pinterest client actually expect from you? I'm so glad you asked. So, there are a couple of different services that you can offer for $1,000 and above. If we're just talking about like organic Pinterest management, and if you're sitting there and you're like, what does organic mean? What are you talking about? I want you to jump into our free training because I walk you through so many different services. And organic simply means that it's like content that you're putting out there that doesn't have any ad spend behind it. And if you're sitting there going, what's ad spend? Ad spend is when you are actually paying a platform to promote and like get your content out to specific audiences faster. Organic is when you're publishing content and you have like a specific strategy in place where people will organically see it through searches. Now, if you're sitting there and you're like, wow, that makes no sense to me. You're speaking a different language. Do not worry. We teach you all of this inside of the Pinterest VA school. We teach you organic as well as paid ads, how to manage this, what does this look like, because I understand when you're learning something new, you have no idea what it is. Why would you? It's something completely new. But let's talk about what a $1,000 a month client realistically would expect from you on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So, for a $1,000 client, you are most likely having about 2 pins go out for them each day. Now, what's really exciting about Pinterest is that you can schedule this. You do not need to be in the platform creating this content every single day. In fact, I actually suggest not doing that because you want to be able to create as much content as possible, get it approved by the client, and work ahead. That is easier on the client and it's easier on you. The client will be happy and you'll be happy. So you are typically creating around 2, maybe 3 pins a day. You're scheduling those out. Your client will want to see analytics. So they will want to see what happened to the account, what happened to the account growth, where are we pivoting, do we have areas of like opportunity. They're going to want to see all of that. That comes at the end of every month. Now, some clients may want to have a call. Some clients just want a Loom video. It really is how you are structuring your business and setting up those expectations from the beginning. A client who is around that $1,000, they may also be wanting to communicate with you via like email or Slack throughout the month as stuff changes and pivots. Outside of that, Pinterest is a very straightforward platform. So, like, those would be the expectations. $1,000 client could also be a client that you are running ads for, and that's going to look very different. You're going to set up these ads, you're going to monitor them throughout the month, you're going to make sure the client is aware of like where their ad dollars are going, and you're not creating as much content, but you are doing some more monitoring. I think it's really interesting when we start to think about like pricing and packages because I just gave you really like rough overviews of what a client could expect who's paying you $1,000. The reality is that our students are landing clients that are paying them $3,600 a month, and that looks so different than what I just told you. Some of those clients are like, yeah, I'll just like send me videos and I'll talk to you when I need you, and other clients are sitting there going, I want to hear from you every other day. That comes down to what is communicated in your sales call. That comes down to, and if you're not doing sales calls, that comes down to your sales conversation, I should say. So, your boundaries, the client's expectations, what they are expecting from the platform, what their needs are, and also like how their business operates. If you're working with a client where they are dropping new products or new content every single day, then yeah, they're going to be communicating with you way more because they're going to have so much more content to send your way for you to then bring over to Pinterest. If you're working with a brand, for instance, let's say like a wedding venue, where their content isn't really changing, right? At the end of the day, they're leveraging Pinterest to send traffic and leads to their site. Then your strategy can stay pretty like even keel for a month at a time as you're seeing what's working, what's not working. It's not like they're having weddings every single day. They are probably having weddings every single weekend, but they're not getting those photos back. So I just think it really comes down to like the type of business you want to run, the type of client you're going to work with, but ultimately the boundaries and the expectations that you set on your end. It is very easy to let your boundaries kind of sway. It's very easy to go, oh, well, they just want to meet this one time. It's okay. Well, you've already met with them 3 times this month. I always say, like, our business is only as good and as strong as our boundaries are. That is something that I am still having to remind myself and continue to tell myself today. It's not something that just, you know, I wake I wake up and I'm a people pleaser at heart, and so I have to continue to remind myself every single day, my business is only as good as my boundaries are. And honestly, like, that can be said through everything in life, right? I feel like everything in life is only as good as our boundaries are. One of the amazing things about being a Pinterest manager is that you're going to create your packages, you're going to create your pricing, you have control over that. I'm not here to dictate what your packages look like or what your pricing looks like. Inside of the Pinterest VA School, I do give you, this is how we've structured our packages. This is what we include when it comes to organic. This is what we include when it comes to paid ads, because once again, I know this is completely new to you, but I also think it's really important for you to ask yourself, how much time do you have each month to do this work? How much money do you want to make? And then that's going to make it really clear on what you need to be charging and the types of services you need to be offering. And if you're sitting there going, I'm kind of curious about that, our free training is the perfect place to start, because I actually walk you through a formula on how to take your time, how much you want to make, and then what you need to be charging per client, and what that realistically looks like in the Pinterest management space. So I've gone ahead and linked the free training for you below. I would love to know what you're finding valuable from these videos, if anything, and if there are certain topics that you would like for me to go into more detail around. I would love to be able to share as much as I can. I've been in this space full time since 2018, and so I like to believe that I have made a ton of mistakes that you do not have to make, and the more that I can share this information and this knowledge, I feel like that's just a big benefit for everyone at the end of the day. So let me know in the comments what you would like to see more about, what questions you may have, and I just might make it for the next video. All right, in the comments, let me know. And also, like I said, I have the free training linked for you, as well as the Pinterest VA School.